Hi, welcome to Shop Stop. Today we want to talk about safety overload devices.
Okay, when you're running a rotary cutter on your tractor, you typically need to have some type of torque limiter in case you hit something.
And really what the safety overload device is or your torque limiter is your weakest link in the system. And this is the part that's supposed to slip or fail when you hit something hard.
So in the ideal world, if you have one of these on here, it'll save your PTO shaft or even your output shaft on your tractor or the input shaft on your gearbox. Every few months, you probably ought to make sure that your clutch is slipping and not bound up. So how you'll attempt to do that on this particular clutch, you'll see we have a bolt through here, spring in between, and then in between here we have a friction disc and some plates on each side. And what you'll do is you'll back these nuts off of here. What I do is I measure these before I begin and then back these off and then kick on the tractor and see if it slips. And you can tell if it slips just by putting a mark across here with a piece of chalk or whatever and see if it slipped. Actually, it would be between this point and here, and see if it slips. If it doesn't, then this may be so bound up you may actually have to pry it apart. Now the other thing that can happen is, yeah, you could put it back to the same one. Well, at least that's a starting point, but you may have taken some friction material off when you've slipped the clutch because of rust, so you may have to add a little bit more tension. You can chalk this again while you're using it and see if it's slipping too much. If you've got a rotary cutter, get a manual for it, see what you've got. If it doesn't have one of these on it, you probably ought to think about installing one just to save your tractor and some downtime.
So there's some tips on safety overload, on PTO shafts, on Shop Stop. We'll see you next week.